Here's what nobody tells you about morning routines. Every productivity guru, every self-help book, every viral LinkedIn post about waking up at 5 in the morning will give you the same list: cold shower, journaling, gratitude practice, exercise, meditate. And if you do all of that, you too can be successful. But here's the thing. I've looked at how genuinely wealthy people actually spend their mornings. Not what they say in interviews, not the curated version they post online, what they actually do. And the list looks almost nothing like what you've been told. Some of it will make complete sense, and some of it is going to genuinely surprise you. Because the wealthiest people don't protect their morning because they read it in a book. They protect it because they figured out something most people never do. Your morning isn't just the start of your day. It's the part of your day where you have the most control over your own mind before the rest of the world gets to it. And what you do with that window determines almost everything that comes after. Let's get into it. Thing 1. They don't check their phone first. I know. You already know you're not supposed to do this, and you do it anyway. So do most people. The average American picks up their phone within 3 minutes of waking up. 3 minutes. Before they've had a single thought that belongs entirely to them. Here's why that matters more than you think. The moment you open your phone, you've handed control of your attention to someone else. You're reading other people's problems, reacting to other people's news, starting your day in response mode instead of creation mode. And once you're in response mode, it's incredibly hard to get out of it. Wealthy people understand that the first hour of the day is the only hour where nobody else has a claim on your attention yet, and they guard it obsessively. Meet Daniel. He's 46, a real estate developer in Nashville. He told me that the single biggest change he made in the last 10 years wasn't a new investment strategy. It wasn't a business pivot. It was leaving his phone in a different room until 9 in the morning. 2 hours of uninterrupted thinking time every single day. He calls it his unfair advantage because almost nobody else is doing it. His competitors are reading Twitter at 6:45. He's thinking about the next 5 years. Thing 2, they decide nothing important before they're fully awake. This one sounds obvious, but the implications are bigger than most people realize. Decision fatigue is real. It's been studied extensively. The more decisions you make, the worse your decision-making gets. And most people start making decisions the second their alarm goes off. What to wear, what to eat, whether to hit snooze, whether to respond to that message, whether to check the news. Small decisions, but they add up. And by 9 in the morning, you've already burned through more mental energy than you realize. Wealthy people solve this by eliminating as many morning decisions as possible before the morning arrives. Mark Zuckerberg famously wears the same gray t-shirt every day, not because he can't afford variety, because he made the decision once and refused to make it again. Obama said the same thing about his suits. The goal isn't to be boring. The goal is to save your best thinking for things that actually matter. Meet Susan. She's 51, a hedge fund manager in Chicago. Every Sunday evening she spends 20 minutes planning the entire coming week. Meals, outfits, calendar priorities, morning schedule. By Monday morning, she's already made hundreds of decisions that most people make in real time throughout the week. Her mornings feel effortless. They're not. They're engineered. Thing 3, they move their body before they face the world. This isn't a surprise, but the reason wealthy people do it might be. Most people think successful people exercise in the morning because it's healthy. That's true, but it's not the main reason. The main reason is that physical movement is the single most reliable way to shift your mental state quickly. You cannot be in the same headspace after 30 minutes of exercise as you were before it. Your brain chemistry changes. Literally, wealthy people aren't exercising because they want to look good. They're exercising because they need to think clearly for the next 12 hours. And this is the most efficient way to get there. Tim Cook starts his day at 3:45 in the morning, not because he's a masochist, because he exercises before 5. And then has 3 hours of completely clear thinking time before his first meeting. Meet Carlos. He's 42, a tech founder in Austin. He doesn't run marathons. He doesn't lift heavy weights. He walks for 45 minutes every morning while listening to nothing. No podcast, no music, just walking and thinking. He told me that more business decisions have come to him on those walks than in any boardroom he's ever sat in. The body moves. The mind opens. It's not complicated, but most people skip it. Thing 4, they protect the first hour from other people's agendas. Here's the one that most people never think about. Think about what happens the moment you engage with the world in the morning. Email means someone needs something from you. The news means the world's problems are now in your head. Social media means you're comparing yourself to other people's highlight reels before you've even had breakfast. Every one of these things is someone else's agenda competing for space in your brain. Wealthy people are extremely deliberate about when they let the outside world in, and the answer is almost never immediately. Jeff Bezos has said publicly that he doesn't schedule meetings before 10 in the morning. He calls his first hours puttering time. He reads. He has breakfast with his family. He thinks. He lets his brain warm up at its own pace before anyone starts making demands on it. This isn't laziness. It's strategic, because the quality of thinking you do in those first hours, when your mind is fresh and nobody has contaminated it yet, is categorically different from the thinking you do at 2 in the afternoon when you've been reacting to things all day. Meet Michelle. She's 38, a marketing executive in New York. She has a rule. No emails before 8:30. No calls before 9. The first 90 minutes of her day belong entirely to her. She uses them to think about strategy, to read, and to decide what she's actually going to prioritize that day. She says it's the reason she's never felt overwhelmed by her job. Not because the job isn't demanding, because she starts every day ahead of it. Thing 5. They review their long-term goals before they get pulled into short-term tasks. This is the one that separates people who build wealth slowly and intentionally from people who are always busy but never seem to make real progress. Most people wake up and immediately start doing things, responding to things, crossing things off lists. It feels productive. It looks productive, but a lot of it is activity that doesn't actually move the needle on anything that matters long term. Wealthy people start the day by reminding themselves of the big picture before they get pulled into the details. What are we actually trying to build this year? What matters in 5 years that I'm probably not spending enough time on today? Am I moving toward the life I'm designing, or just managing the one that's happening to me? Warren Buffett has said that the most important investment he makes every year is deciding what not to do. He reviews his priorities obsessively, not to add more, to subtract more, because he understands that focus, sustained, intentional, protected focus, is rarer and more valuable than talent or capital. Meet James. He's 55, a business owner in Atlanta. Every morning, before anything else, he reads what he calls his North Star document. 3 pages he wrote 5 years ago about what he wants his life to look like in 10 years. Not a to-do list, not a goal sheet, a vivid description of the life he's building. He reads it every single morning, and then he asks himself one question. Is what I'm planning to do today moving me toward this or away from it? He told me it's the most uncomfortable question he's ever built into his routine, and the most useful one. Thing 6. They eat intentionally or they don't eat at all. This one surprises people, because the conventional wisdom for decades was that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that's not really what the evidence shows. A significant number of highly productive, wealthy people practice intermittent fasting, not because it's trendy, because they found that not eating in the morning keeps their mental clarity sharper for longer. When you eat, your body redirects energy toward digestion. When you don't, that energy stays available for your brain. Now, this isn't for everyone, but the broader principle is this. Wealthy people are intentional about what they put in their body in the morning. They're not grabbing whatever's fastest. They're not skipping food entirely by accident. They've made a deliberate choice about what their body needs to perform at its best, and they repeat that choice every single day. Meet Linda. She's 49, a physician and entrepreneur in San Francisco. She doesn't eat until noon. She drinks black coffee, does 40 minutes of work she calls deep thinking, and then exercises. By the time she eats her first meal, she's already done what she considers the 3 most important things in her day. She says that if everything else goes wrong, she's already won the morning. Thing 7, and this is the one nobody talks about. Wealthy people end their morning by deciding what they're willing to say no to today. Not a to-do list. A not-to-do list. Most people start their day thinking about everything they need to accomplish. Wealthy people start their day thinking about everything they're going to refuse, because they understand something that takes most people decades to figure out. Your time doesn't go to the most important things by default. It goes to the most urgent things, the loudest things, the things that have the most people pushing for them. And if you don't consciously protect your time before the day starts, someone else will fill it for you. Warren Buffett was once asked by Bill Gates about the secret to success. Both men wrote down one word on separate pieces of paper. They held them up at the same time. They had both written the same word: focus. Not hustle, not networking, not working harder. Focus. And focus is not something you find during the day. It's something you decide on before the day begins. Meet Robert. He's 44, a private equity partner in Dallas. Every morning before anything else, he writes down 3 things he's going to say no to that day. A meeting that doesn't need him, a task someone else could handle, a conversation that could be an email. He told me that this single habit has given him back more than 2 hours a day. Every day. For years. 2 hours a day is 14 hours a week. That's more than an extra workday. Every single week. Reclaimed from things that didn't matter. So here's what I want you to take from all of this. The wealthy people I've studied don't have more time than you. They have the same 24 hours. What they have is a different relationship with the first 2 hours. They treat that window as non-negotiable, not for productivity, not to get more done, but because they understand that who you are at 8 in the morning determines who you are for the rest of the day. You don't need all 7 of these. You need one. Pick the one that resonates most, and do it tomorrow morning before you do anything else. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 are you starting tomorrow? And if you want to know the specific evening habits that set all of this up the night before, watch this video right here. I'm George. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.